When shall we start?
Trevor, it's that time of the year again. It's not Star Wars season this time.
Okay.
But it is time to talk about the failing DC cinematic universe. Welcome back to whatever I'm going to call this. Trevor,
I don't
he's
want
so sad.
I don't want to talk about it. Honestly. I mean, I love talking with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fun to be on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this.
Thanks for watching.
No, I mean it in like, I just don't want to talk about this specifically. I want to talk about how good the DC movies are, but we can't.
We can't, exactly. It saddens us that we have to talk about how bad they are. Because if we wouldn't be saying this 10 years ago, with the success of the Dark Knight trilogy, the incredible Batman trilogy that Christopher Nolan crafted with his bare hands.
And also the Superman movies, granted, 2 of them are kind of but still.
Yeah.
They still had some fun.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they can't make good. Because Marvel does it, like, seemingly effortlessly. Marvel has been consistently, here's a fact, Marvel has been consistently for 10 years making good superhero movies.
Enjoyable at the very least.
At the very least, enjoyable superhero films.
Except for Thor 2.
Oh, yeah, The Dark World. Well, yeah. I don't really...
That's the only exception, though, you know? Which is astounding.
I'd say probably out of, like, 18 films.
Like, even
like
look at James Bond. Like, half of those are probably, like, not the best, you know?
No, I agree. Yeah, especially the newer ones. I love Casino Royale, just because it's just so well crafted.
I liked Skyfall though. Skyfall was good.
I was pretty okay on it, but it just surprises me, and I don't know if this is films now, or if it is like the times we're living in and the way films are, or if it's just an action, or if it's like an action movie fatigue, or what. I don't know what it is.
I don't think so, because if you look at like movies that released like years ago, you like. Let's take, like, Jurassic Park. You see Jurassic Park. That was a great movie. It's going to last for a long time.
It still holds up.
It does. And you look at, like, take any movie that released the same year, and it's probably going to be bad. That's just how we have so many movies that come in that it always seems like, oh, we're living in, like, the crap of movies right now. But honestly,
some really good movies.
Honestly, no, because there's only like every year there's at least like 1 or 2
good,
classic,
that
are going to like live on.
Yeah,
that's how it has been since the beginning of movies.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Out of all the movies that have ever existed, you don't remember a bad movie from the 80s. You remember They Live and Aliens and.
There's a couple bad movies that slip through, though, that are just so bad that...
Hollywood Cop.
Troll 2.
Samurai Cop. Troll 2. Gremlins 2. Isn't Gremlins 2 the bad one?
No,
both the first and second one are the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, the others after they're not good.
Was there another one?
I think there's like a Gremlins...
I thought there was only 2.
I think there was like the third one that's like direct-to-video or whatever, in the 90s. Anyway, either way. I've seen either. I saw both of them when I was very
The first time that they've been in the theaters since those movies, though, is the Lego Batman movie. Warner Brothers, can we change that, please? I mean, I love them. I loved them in that movie, but please, can we change this? Something? Anything? Please?
So I've been watching a bunch of animated Batman films. You're aware of this. Like the past 3 days, I've seen maybe 5.
They're good.
Batman titles. Or Batman mainstay, like the Justice League Dark, mostly Batman and magic.
I mean, most of them deal with Batman almost directly because...
It's almost as if Batman's a crucial part of the league.
It's almost as if he's the only one that's making money right now.
Oh, it could be, yeah. But how come we haven't had a Batman DC cinematic universe? There's still no name for it. Which you have the MCU.
The DC Extended Universe is what they call it.
That's not what they call it. The person that's over it, that's in charge of it, like,
There's not a person in charge. That's the problem.
well, there was and then there wasn't. And now I think they're trying to get someone again.
They had Jeff Johns for a bit. They also
Yeah.
had like another. They had Zack Snyder.
Who
that
has
was
been
acting
in
like-
charge of the Marvel Universe?
Kevin Feige.
And that's always been the case. He
Since
has
the
he has a
beginning.
vision for what he wants it to be.
Yeah,
And it's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have people that are behind the Dennis films, the DC universe, and there's no concise name, there's no concise vision.
There's no consistency.
There's not one person that's like, I don't want to say accountable for it, but there's not one person that like you can go to and ask a question about whatever, and they have a definitive answer for it. That doesn't exist for the Dennis
There
universe.
needs to be though. That's
It's almost
why.
it's almost as if this proves that makes a good universe. Look at Kathleen Kennedy with Star Wars.
Yes,
Some are good, some are bad. People like them, people don't like them.
I
But people
think
generally
they
agree.
are for the most part 4 for 4 overall.
Yeah.
In my
I'd agree with
humble opinion.
The only one that hasn't done probably as well commercially and critically is
Solo.
Only one.
But
out of 4
that's
so far.
probably because
Bad marketing,
yeah,
bad press surrounding
horrible marketing. If I was not keeping up with Star Wars the way I am, I would have missed that movie.
it. Didn't you say Taylor fell asleep while watching it?
Yeah, but he ended up liking the movie, but he fell asleep because we were at the drive-in and it was the second showing. You know how long those
Yeah.
things go,
Oh, yeah.
so it is what it is.
Trevor, why are they doing this?
Why-
Or I guess the better question is, why are they not doing what Marvel's doing?
I mean,
Let us know in the comments.
we don't want them to do exactly what Marvel does. Granted, they can still take cues from Marvel. It's a good idea to have the head honcho.
Yeah.
Like, have you? It's like a chicken running around with its head chopped off. Like it makes no sense. There's no one like literally like head. There is no head on this chicken, and it's running around crazy.
It's entertaining until it becomes a problem,
Yes,
like where we are right now.
Yeah.
So I have not seen Justice League still. And do you want to know the reason why I haven't seen Justice League?
Why?
Because the last 3 DC films that I watched, exception of Wonder Woman, were just okay. And there's no incentive for me to see Justice League.
So Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, and Batman v Superman
Yeah.
are the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. And they weren't good enough for me to be like, yeah, I would love to go see Justice League. I'd love to see all 5 of these classic comic book heroes on screen.
Honestly,
I have said that with none of the Marvel films.
honestly, Justice League is the second best DC extended universe movie, though. So
I need to watch it then.
I'm not saying it's good, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
second best in a so far failing universe.
it's grasping for air. It honestly is. But
They're holding it down, trying to kill it, and then it's like Justice League 2. You're like, no.
Everyone's just trying to kill it. At this point, they either need to do a hard reset or do the Flashpoint film.
I think the best way they could fix it would be just doing Flashpoint and then just redoing it from there. Which probably the best way that they
I
could do
agree. Also, a hard reset wouldn't be unwanted as well. Either or. I
No.
mean, Flashpoint is almost a hard reset. It's more like
pretty much.
It's a soft reset.
Yeah. Because as far as I know, like the Flash. Who plays Flash? What is that kid's name?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. He's
pretty good.
He's really good.
He's pretty good.
And he's
Flash.
super into being the role. Gal Gadot's super into being Wonder Woman.
Ben Affleck is out.
Ben Affleck hates being Batman. Turns out.
He loves Batman, which I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for him because
But
it's
can
not
you
his
blame him?
fault.
Can you blame him though?
I mean, I can't blame him.
man.
I cannot blame him for wanting to be Batman, and I can't blame him for the direction that they took with Batman because it was not him directing. It wasn't him writing.
That's so
It was
sad.
him acting. And to be honest, he was a very good part of Batman v Superman.
He was one of the best parts.
Yeah, I personally think Wonder Woman was, but okay.
I wish they. either gave Wonder Woman more time in the film or made her a very small part, like smaller than she already had a part of the film. It needs to be one or the other. And I think it's funny that they even mention it in film, in canon, in universe, where it's like, is she with you? Oh, I thought she was with you.
Oh. You can't do that.
You can't do stuff like that.
You just can't. And I just took some.
Yeah, it's all right.
But like it's so ridiculous because like they juggle tones too
much
strangely. Like
yeah,
I don't want to say tone juggling isn't good because Deadpool 2 has done it. Many of the Marvel movies
Infinity
have done
War,
it.
Black Panther. They do it, and they do it so effortlessly.
Yes, it's like a professional juggling.
It's like a world-class juggler juggling 5 knives, 5 bowling pins, and 5 oranges.
They do it.
They do it so well. Where it's like the DC universe juggling 5 oranges and like trying to ride a unicycle, and it's not really good at riding a unicycle.
I've actually
and not really good at juggling oranges. They're okay at both.
I've got a really good analogy, or not analogy, but I've got a really good like real world thing. On my trip that I took, I actually saw a juggler perform, and he was really good. It was super funny to see him juggle some like swords. He juggled some swords over this dude that was blindfolded with a balloon like right here on his chest, and he juggled him for like a few seconds. He screamed really loud, caught them, took one of the knives, and just like jabbed the balloon and freaked the guy out. It's great. But anyways, that's what Marvel does. They know what they're doing. And then
I think that describes
also,
Infinity War perfectly. What the story you just told, that was Infinity War.
Yeah. And DC is the juggler
is
that
the child.
He juggles a child. He tries to juggle a child, a bowling ball, and
like a really oversized sword.
No, not a sword. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. It was probably like a tennis ball or something.
Yeah.
No, it was an egg.
Yeah.
It was an egg. And he did it, but it was very clunky because, you can't like throw a child up in the air. Like,
yeah, he
like
crushed an egg. He crushed an egg over the child's head.
He did not do that. He pulled it off, but only barely.
Oh, goodness.
Which is kind of what the DC universe is doing, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's still alive.
Yeah. They haven't crushed the egg on the baby's head yet.
Not yet.
It
was a very dense kid, by the way. He was 10 years old, but he was
10-year-olds can be big.
I mean, he was a small 10-year-old, but he had like an Under Armour shirt and stuff, and
yeah.
That
type.
Well, I don't want to say like that type, but he was definitely an athletic kid, so he was dense.
Pure muscle.
He was.
10-year-old muscles are not as good as 35-year-old muscles.
No, I realize that, but like whenever you're juggling a child, that muscle makes a difference.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a station break for the thing real fast.
Okay.
Be right back.
Hello.
Welcome back. For me choking on spit.
Oh. Ow.
You okay?
Yeah, just hit my knee. It's cool.
It's been like a couple seconds for the break for them, but it's been 9 minutes for us. So
played a game of Mario Tennis. No, hold on. Played a game of Mario Tennis. Sorry.
So this brings us to the next section of the State of the DC Universe, whatever the title of this video is.
Yeah.
I guess what it is that let's look at the Rotten Tomato scores.
Oh no, I don't want to.
It's very sad.
It hurts.
So Man of Steel is the first one.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was their Iron Man.
I think it got like a 50%, but I'm not sure.
Man of Steel Rotten Tomato score. Thank you. While I'm doing this, could you get what came out after that? Batman v Superman?
No, not Batman v Superman. It was Suicide Squad. So I shall get Suicide Squad.
Wait, when did Civil War come out?
2016. Suicide Squad.
Okay, so then Batman v Superman came out in 2015.
No, it came out in 2016 as well.
Did they really both?
They both came
Gross.
out the same year. Suicide Squad first. And it has
Gross.
a 27%.
Man of Steel has 55 tomato meter and audience score of 75, which came out in 2013.
Okay, let me check out the I didn't think about the audience score. 60% audience score.
Another Woman, Rotten Tomato score.
I'll do Batman v Superman.
Opening webpage.
Thank you. Just I have to announce it. So then Batman v Superman.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justin. 27%
Good
the critics
Lord.
and 63%.
Wait, Suicide Squad had how many?
Suicide Squad I think had like 27 as well.
Good Lord.
And then it was 27 and 60.
Wonder Woman had 92.
92.
And then the audience score was 88.
You know why though, right?
What's the reason why?
They let the director direct.
They let someone who had an idea and had a vision create a movie. It's almost as if having a committee films are not good. And I would say probably the only exception that I can think of for a committee film, which you know what a committee film is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to explain it to
A committee film is whenever you can probably explain it better than I can.
I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. A committee film is kind of like whenever a movie is made and it's only meant like to play to like the lowest common denominator.
Mm-hmm. Or like a wide audience.
The widest audience, not whitest, but
widest. Most people per audience.
Think of like DreamWorks today.
Oh, woof.
Like, yeah. Like today's DreamWorks. Also think of
we live in a
Sony Pictures
post-Shrek
Animation.
world.
Just Sony Pictures Animation in general. Please, Sony, make the Spider-Man movie that we need. Please. I want it to be good. Please. But for real, Sony Animation is in the it's
They're in the
down
dirt.
there.
They're in the dirt big time.
They're in the dirt.
They're
definitely.
underneath the dirt.
They're not good. They made the Emoji Movie.
That's like prime committee film.
Yeah.
I say the best version of a committee film, which is like they have a director and a writer.
Yeah.
But it's like a group of 20 people. The number is not important, but it's a group of people that are like, how can we appeal to the mass audience?
How do we
For
get
example,
those millennials?
Perfect example. The perfect example for, I would say, a committee film, a good committee film, is The Force Awakens.
Is that? I guess that's.
I would say it's very committee film because
I can kind of
look
see
at
that.
The Last Jedi.
It's not a committee film.
No, it's one guy. He
Yeah,
was writer
this
and
is
director.
This is
Ryan
Johnson
wrote and directed. He
was like,
directed.
"This is my Star Wars film," and you know what? We appreciate you, Ryan Johnson.
I
we
enjoyed
love it.
Now that Ethan's not here,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
super into it.
very good. We're glad that you actually took ideas.
See, that's
and
what
not
happens whenever
repeat.
I do think it's very funny that like The Force Awakens 2015, very committee film, good movie.
Yeah,
Great movie. I still love The Force Awakens, good movie, but very committee film, like very like they're holding their cards super close to their chest and like they're telling everybody what moves they can make and what they want them to do. Mm-hmm. And then
Ryan Johnson's just like, knock knock.
Ryan Johnson's on a horse with a lasso. He's like, woo! Making a Star Wars movie.
I love it because I just love the idea that the nostalgia critic put out, right?
Yeah.
He did his review of The Force Awakens, like when it came out, like before they could use like actual footage from the film. So he had his actors act out the scenes. Like he does it for a few films, like big films. He does it for like all the new Star Wars. He does it for. He did it for not Man of Steel, but Batman v Superman and stuff like that. He did it for It, which is it's a great review.
I need to watch that.
But anyways, in the review, in the skit for the review, he was making it to where his review was centered around a Hanukkah holiday special, a Hanukkah Star Wars holiday special. And the analogy by the end was, like, one of the actors was like, "Why are you just remaking, like, the Star Wars holiday special, but better?" And, or not, but better, but, like, still, because Force Awakens is on par with A New Hope, at least.
Yeah.
Or at most.
Yeah.
But
there
anyways,
is definitely some mirroring.
Yeah,
in those
the
two
analogy that he went with was, well, to prove that I could make a Star Wars, or I could go ahead with Star Wars, was to prove that I could make the Star Wars film. To prove that I could make a Star Wars film, I had to make the Star Wars film.
I think that's, even though it's like a funny video and a joke, and like he's not being 100%, I imagine 100% not serious. I feel like that's what they did.
He's 50-50 on serious and comedy.
All right,
because he uses the comedy to emphasize his point.
If people do that well, it can be extremely powerful.
And he does it pretty well when it comes to movies.
Videos then. I never watch any of his videos.
I love him. I love his videos.
Yeah.
Like, what's been going on recently with Channel Awesome, I will not get into. I don't know the entire story, but still, the content is pretty good.
That's what's important.
It's pretty good. Like, most people are like, dude, I hate Kanye West, but man, his songs. Like,
yeah, I hate Kanye West, but I really love his music. He's a very good music maker and a very good producer. The way he is as a person,
could care less.
Could not care
Very
less.
cool, Kanye. Very cool.
Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. But back to the DC.
Yeah.
So, even though we talked about the Rotten Tomato scores, I threw them up on screen as we said them. If you look at any Marvel film that came out that year, we already know the answer to that one. It's going to be a significant margin. DC, Marvel films.
Yeah,
and
it's
personally,
at the very least 60. I think that's the lowest.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's look at Thor. Thor the Dark World. Because we know it's the lowest.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But for me personally, I'm not a fan of Marvel more than I am for DC. I have actually always been more of a fan of DC. What's the score for it?
66.
And that's the worst one.
That's the worst Marvel movie. And it's better than most of the DC movies, with the exception of Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's the exception.
Did we look at Justice League?
Oh, we haven't.
Yeah.
Editor. Throw it up as soon as Trevor says it.
Okay.
I'm curious for this one. Wasn't it like 70s? I thought I got
40% tomato score, but 74% audience.
Now you do see that gap in between the audience and the tomato score.
Yeah. I can understand, because I'm one of those that thought that Justice League, even though I don't think it's a great movie, it was fun to watch.
I haven't seen it. I need to see it. I meant to before we did this, but I just...
What I thought about last night, because I was thinking about, like, what I was going to say on the podcast, I was thinking, like, with Zack Snyder's direction, it was like most people wanted it and it needed to go like this direction, but Zack Snyder was like, no, we must go this direction.
I'm making a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah,
as opposed to making a DC Universe film.
But that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because you have directors now like Taika Waititi making a Thor film. It's wonderful. It's a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
And then you have, what's his name? Ryan Coogler doing Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then you have the Russo brothers making their movies, their art pieces.
Yeah.
They did Civil War and they did Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
They also did,
the Russo brothers did,
they've done 3.
They've done 2 Captain Americas.
Yeah, they did Civil War and Winter Soldier. I cannot think of the name for a second.
And then Infinity War.
And then
they're working on
doing
Avengers 4. Avengers Forever.
Avengers Forever.
Wakanda Forever. Okay, so what I was going to say was like, it's 420 Blaze, guys. Anyways, I was going to say that like Zack Snyder was taking it down this route, which not a lot of people liked, but I could get behind in Man of Steel because that was his vision.
Yeah.
And then Batman v Superman, it was like his vision, but the studio was like, no, wait, stop.
Here's what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like that, but they were still heading in that direction. It was more like,
Yeah.
it was like distracted walking, like he was up looking in the sky at this point. And then Suicide Squad was just kind of on that road, but
yeah.
What I like to think is Wonder Woman took the direction that the universe was going in and then like made a 90-degree angle.
They
and
went 100%.
Justice League was just kind of like they slipped and fell, but still going in that direction.
Yeah, it's like them going down a highway and there's a turnoff, and the turnoff is good DC films, and Wonder Woman's like, oh, there's the turn, and like they made the turn, and then everyone else is like, hey, where'd Wonder Woman go? Like crash into a semi truck.
Wait, what?
Oh, where they ended up to? And then crash immediately.
Oh, so basically what Biff Tannen did in Back to the Future, whenever Marty literally did a 180 on them and like went over their car and landed on the skateboard behind, and then they looked back and then looked back and was like, oh shit. Manure
yes,
truck.
that is it. That Marty
that is
McFly
it.
is Wonder Woman. That's what that is.
Dude.
I don't think I've told you this, actually.
I mean, she is going in the 80s in the sequel film.
I'm really excited for that.
Marty McFly is making
I don't think I
a
told you
cameo.
this, but whenever I watched Man of Steel, at like the 2-hour mark, I had the worst headache. I had a horrible headache.
I think Man of Steel would be better if they let Zack Snyder do his thing more.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
I
to
think
tell.
in his plan, it wasn't. I don't want to say that this excuses Man of Steel, but I think in his plan he was like thinking of an overarching story.
Yeah.
For Superman,
like he wanted it to be, and then the end goal was here, and that's where it lands.
The end goal, he wanted him to be Superman at the end. I think that's what he wanted, but he needed to start out like, oh, I've been Superman for a day.
What is the runtime for?
I think it's like
Man of Steel.
2 hours, maybe.
Man of Steel runtime.
But
I do know, like 2 hours and 23 minutes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm having a headache just thinking about the movie now.
It's not the worst movie. I will say that.
No,
I don't think it's the worst movie, but
I think if I try to rewatch it, I'll get another headache. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting old, Trevor.
I mean, Man of Steel might give you a headache, but watch Superman Returns and it'll just knock you out, man.
I need to watch Superman Returns.
It'll knock you out.
Is that the one that like, came out in the early 2000s?
It's the one with Brandon Routh.
Oh my gosh.
It's the one that will
that came out.
Put you to sleep, man.
And it has Howie Mandel also.
That
wasn't Howie Mandel. Whoever it was.
It was Kevin Spacey as.
That's. Oh no.
This was before he fondled children.
Technically, it was after, but before we found out.
Oh yeah. You're right.
And then the only movies that I generally dislike or hate or just I'm not a fan of, they seem to be DC films. Like I hate Suicide Squad, Man of Steel. I didn't like it, and it gave me a headache. Like I didn't really.
The only thing Suicide Squad had going for it were the characters. Some of them were
and
fun to watch.
They should have done them better. I don't understand. They should have just done character setup. The first half of the film setting up characters, how they work with each other.
The weirdest part of the movie, though, Captain Boomerang was probably the funniest character.
I forgot he was in that.
He should not have been a good character, but he was probably the best part in the movie.
I forgot that Dr. Octopus was in it also. Or not Doc... Evil Croc? Doc Croc?
Oh.
Dr. Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents?
Killer Croc.
Killer Croc. I was close.
Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. Let me do the second stage.
Dr. Croctopus.
Hey,
and we're back.
This is the third and final act of
it's the climax.
The tragedy of the state of the DC universe. That's the name I've gathered.
Have you read The Tragedy of Darth Plagueis?
It's not a story.
Not. Is it a story that Jedi would tell? No, I forget the line. It's been a while. Not from a Jedi. I remember that
Not
line, but
from
I don't.
a Jedi. Is it possible to learn this power? Making good movies. Not from a DC. Not from DC.
Not from Warner Brothers.
It's not a story Warner Brothers would tell you.
The worst part is Warner Brothers can make good movies. They have made great DC movies in the last 2 years, or at least
the last 5 years. A lot of them have been really good.
Yeah,
Because the ones so the ones
but
I've been
I'm
watching.
talking about during the DCEU.
Yeah,
like,
the DC
They have had
whatever they're gonna call it.
They've had one masterpiece. Wonder Woman isn't a masterpiece, but it is really
It's
good.
very good. Yeah,
It's very good. But they have had one masterpiece that we have overlooked. It's not part of the DCEU, but it's one of the best
Lego
DC
Batman,
movies.
which I still
in
haven't
a
seen
long
either.
time.
I need to watch Lego Batman.
Great.
Okay,
if you're
so-
a Batman fan,
I am.
it is
So
a time and a half.
I need to watch it.
It is so much
It's not
fun.
that long though, is it? Or is it a full
It's like
length?
I think it's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Oh man,
It's not-
perfect. No joke. An hour and a half is like perfect film length for me. But I do
Mm-hmm.
like films that are 2 hours. I can go a little bit over than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But like A Quiet Place was like 90 minutes even, like 91 minutes, 1 minute for credits or whatever. Perfect.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect. Because by the time the film ended, I was like,
it's 2 hours and 9 minutes.
wow. I need to
So
watch it.
I think the 9 minutes is probably
Probably
credits. So.
Yeah. Running time. I think running time means start to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, so Batman is my favorite comic book hero character. Well, I'll say character.
Yeah.
So I like a lot of villains also, but Batman is my favorite. Batman has been my favorite for a long time, and Batman has been my favorite probably since I watched the Chris Nolan films. Now, having said that, I don't like the Chris Nolan films anymore.
Really?
I don't like who portrayed Batman in that. What is his name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I don't like his performance anymore. It fit the time perfectly.
Yeah.
Where it's like super gritty. We need more grounded films, and that was like super grounded. I just don't like it anymore.
I mean, I can.
The villains,
I
I
can
love
get
the villains
behi-
just fine.
I can get behind that, but he might not have had Batman down, but I think he was a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
I would agree. His Bruce Wayne's really good.
He was so charismatic. I loved the scene where he's toasting and like roasting at the same time.
yeah,
like
and Batman Begins. Yeah.
No, not in Batman Begins, but like in the Dark Knight, whenever they're having the campaign toast for a fundraiser for Harvey Dent.
And the second one.
Yeah, this is in the second one.
Okay.
He's like, it's the one where the Joker crashes the
Oh
party.
yeah.
But at the beginning of the party, he's toasting.
Yeah.
He's toasting Harvey Dent. He's like, what a great man and stuff. But also he gets a couple like light jabs in, and I'm just like, it's a good time to listen to him. It's so fun to like hear it because he's so charismatic in the scene.
Yeah. I need to rewatch all those again.
And Batman, honestly, Batman works best in those movies as a symbol. And that's what he is in those movies.
Yeah, I would agree.
He is a symbol. He doesn't need a character.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
I mean, for us, it's a little boring, but like in the grand scheme of like Gotham City,
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Because why would Batman, like, he would have to be super serious and non-charismatic, like in there, for Batman to be like Batman the animated series Batman in that would,
and it also depends.
it would take
a long time.
It would take us out of the moment if he like just said like a couple like jabs under his breath, like
yeah, it take them a long time to get to that point.
Yeah,
film wise, it take like a couple of years to get those movies to be that way, and they would have to establish that tone beforehand. Because I was watching Justice League Dark, and it was funny to see Batman be like pro Batman, Justice League Batman, deep in Justice League Batman, one of my personal favorite Batmans. For him to be like super into Batman, and he's like, that's the way he is, and then like magic is happening around him, and he's just like,
wait, what?
No, he's like, because he
okay. I have not seen this movie, so
really good.
My thought was his reaction would be like,
Whoa, that's crazy.
how
he's
am I
like-
supposed to deal with this? Like that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But like, he's just like, like that, because he can't fight magic. He's Batman.
Neither can Superman.
No, exactly, which I think is really funny. But
Which that would be an interesting thing if they could bring that in the DCEU. Bring some like magic villains.
they might, because it took because they incorporated magic with Marvel Universe like pretty early on.
Yeah,
but they were magic, real life.
Well, not necessarily. The
And then they have
closest
combined
thing
those
to
over.
magic we had, Doctor Strange was the first like actual magic.
I would say legitimate
Use it.
magic, yeah,
Because
you had
Thor-
Asgardians,
Thor, it was more like a science.
alien technology, half
Yeah,
magic,
that's
half,
yeah.
which they have since retconned. They retconned that in Thor 3, and to an extent,
Have they?
like they reworked how magic is, kinda.
I don't remember that. I just remember
I'll have to find that video.
most
and
of
send
it
to you.
is technology based. I thought that's how it has been for a long time.
Yeah, but like there's no technology based in Doctor Strange at all. But they don't say that like
Except for
this is
cell
Asgardian.
phones and texting and driving. Don't do it, kids. Sorry.
I do love that they had at the very end of the film like Samsung and Lamborghini are both like do not text and drive, because he was driving a
Lambo.
Aventador SV or whatever it was. He crashed a $400,000 car.
Good lord.
Good lord.
Good lord, man.
Okay,
No,
so
wait. Good God, man. I'm a sorcerer, not a doctor. Damn it.
I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange. Okay, so I watching Justice League Dark Batman, who was in the film for more than any of the other Justice League characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then watching Batman and Harley Quinn Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Both those films came out the same year, like they're just a few months apart.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing the difference in tone between both of those I was like, okay, I'm into it, I guess. And then whenever like the Batman and Harley Quinn picked up at the midpoint, I'm like, okay, these are different films, different universes. These are not the same.
Because when Batman and Harley Quinn kind of in the same universe as like the Bruce Timm animated universe from like the 90s. I know it was animated in kind of the same style, but I don't know if it took place.
My knowledge doesn't extend that far. I don't know if it is or isn't though.
Like the Timm-verse is Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, and the Justice League series, and
which
Static
Justice
Shock,
League series?
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Okay.
And
I don't think it's supposed to be then.
Okay, because it also has Static Shock and Batman Beyond.
Okay, then no. I don't think so. I think Justice League Dark is supposed to be,
those are all great shows. I don't know how they did that, but they're all so good.
And people are saying that DC should stick to animated films.
I wouldn't.
They don't need to. People were saying whenever Marvel was making films, before they're making Iron Man, before they're making buku bucks, making great movies, they're like, stick to animated.
Because comics are for kids.
Exactly. And you still had movies like Thor versus Hulk and Wolverine versus Hulk.
Please, I do not condone the idea that
Comics are for children?
No, well, that, and also that cartoons are just for children, okay? I watch animated
I
films
do
all
love
the time.
that that you and Julia were talking about whatever you guys were talking about in the venturing group text.
Yeah.
And then I said cartoons are for what
For babies or
cartoons are
whatever.
for babies.
And she said, listen here, anime boy.
Listen
and
here,
I
buddy
thought,
boy.
I thought she was talking to me, and I'm like, you better not be dissing my anime.
my anime. Yeah, but yeah. And that's the only thing I said. I said cartoons are for babies. And did not respond.
I forget what movie we were talking about, or a TV show. Oh, Animaniacs. We were talking about Animaniacs.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Cartoons are for babies.
Animaniacs is
Cartoons are for babies. Cut to me watching Batman.
What was that? Oh, that was you.
My shoes.
Okay.
Cut to me watching 5 Batman films in the course of 3 days.
Yes.
Animated Batman films. I need to watch 3 more.
Cartoons.
There's like 3 or 4 more that I need to watch.
It's
Cartoons are for babies.
Speaking of Batman and Animaniacs, it's so funny to see like in the background Batman, like Bruce Timm Batman, the animated series Batman, like make appearances like in the background of Animaniacs.
Animaniacs was way ahead of its time.
It's so funny because I remember like the second episode. I had not watched Animaniacs. I didn't really grow up, so I don't have nostalgia goggles on. But I remember watching one of the episodes, and all of a sudden, like, a crowd started running, and Batman's just randomly in the crowd, and I died of laughter because I didn't expect it.
That is really funny.
It's so stupid, but yeah, stuff like that just tickles my fancy.
It just tickles my peach. It just grabs my gourd.
How do we fix?
So how do we fix it? We, during the break of me having to actually work at the station, everything's still going. We talked about for the last part. Let's talk about how we're going to fix it. And then you're like, you know what? When does the next film come out? They're making 4 more films.
Yes. Let's see. Do I still?
So they're doing.
Okay, the next one. Okay, why did you do that?
While you find that one, Aquaman comes out December 2018.
December 21st, yes.
Okay, this year, 2018. Current year.
Can you not?
Trevor is an iPhone user over this guy.
It's not iPhone that's messing up. It's Google.
Google Chrome.
I've got Google Chrome on my phone. Okay, that's the thing that's messing up.
Google Chrome works for my Android phone just fine.
Please stop.
I drive a Prius.
Okay, so the upcoming ones, Aquaman, December 21st, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by James Wan. Which, from what I understand, James Wan is a talented director.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't necessarily seen everything that he's done, but I've seen parts. He's a good action director, so that could be something.
So dreamy. Talk about comic books.
Yes. The next one, the one after Aquaman, is the one that I'm holding my breath for because this could make or break the DCEU.
Shazam.
Throw up picture that I will send you later. Throw up picture of the guy that actually is starring as Shazam in front of the poster for Shazam.
Okay, I'll throw it up right now.
Ta-da!
Kazam.
Hold on.
Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, I'll send you the. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show you the picture because it was.
Show me and send it to me.
Okay.
Please.
I will.
When does Wonder Woman 1984 come out? Or has it not been announced? I imagine like later 2019.
November 1st, 2019.
And then after that is...
So this is Zachary Levi, I believe is his name.
Oh, neato. Okay, I know who Zachary Levi is.
In front of the poster.
Oh, nice, because he is just like a baby. He's still a kid.
Yeah, he's like 8 years old.
Yeah, who became a superhero.
Which I really hope they stick with because that would definitely like separate Shazam from other comic book movies because we've all the closest thing to like a child superhero we have is Baby Groot.
Baby Groot, but like I wouldn't say that he's like probably
he's not
Spider-Man more.
Yeah, I could see that Spider-Man. But still,
Spider-Man.
Think about like an 8-year-old with superpowers.
That would be funny.
It would be.
I'm
funny.
into that. I'm into that. And I like Shazam in Injustice.
The poster at first I was really turned off by because I was like, oh no, this is going to be stupid. But then in my mind, I was like, well, what do 8-year-olds do? They do stupid stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah.
So it makes sense.
My reaction was the exact same.
It makes sense in the long run. Like, at first, you're like, oh no. And then it's like, but if he's an 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just that's the way. I can see that. What's the one that comes out after that?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, which is in November.
Mm-hmm.
It's Wonder Woman 1984. Well, just call it Wonder Woman 2. Or Wonder Woman 1984. After that, you said it was what was it? The Green Lantern Corps.
No, I don't think that one's next. I think it's Cyborg. That's
Cyborg.
Next.
Okay.
And then Green Lantern. Yeah, Cyborg, April 3rd, 2020.
So what I want to know is, where does the Joker film and the other Joker film fit into this?
There's two.
Are they ever going to make a Batman? Where's Man of Steel 2 at? Are they doing another Justice League? Those are my
yeah.
couple of questions.
I don't think that they want to focus on them right now because
I don't think they're going to make them for a while
I
at
don't
least.
think they need to make them.
I don't think they need to either.
We've been oversaturated with Superman and Batman films. Like I love Batman and Superman equally as much as the next guy, but we have
there's tons of those films already exist.
We have 6 Superman films.
Yeah.
Not including the serials from like the 30s and the TV shows and think of all the TV shows, The Adventures of Lois and Lane, and like the Superman animated series, like
and then all the Batman stuff,
all the Batman
games,
yes, and Superman games, which I am super excited for the Rocksteady Superman game. Could be awesome.
Be good.
Sorry to bring that up now.
Wait, they made the Batman ones also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
except for Origins, that was WB Montreal.
Okay. So I guess real fast, what I would personally do to fix the films would be,
it's a comic book movie. Have fun.
Yeah, since we're not going to be able to do a hard reboot or do a soft reboot with Flashpoint, have fun. Make the tone. Don't copy Marvel, but make the tone fun and lighthearted. They're comic book films.
It's ridiculous. Look at what DC has done in the TV spectrum with
the animated
Flash.
spectrum. Yeah.
Yes, with the Flash and their animated movies and like Legends of Tomorrow. Are they like the best things ever for drama? No. Are they absolutely engaging and fun to watch? Yes.
And they're comic book movies and comic book TV shows.
Yes, they're very comic booky. They don't hold back.
They don't.
In season 2 of The Flash, in season 1 they introduced like alternate timelines, and then in season 2 they just flat out say, "Oh yes, there are multiple universes."
Yeah.
Like what? Like the geek in me like freaks out about this stuff, and like the DC universe is still crippling. They're
it's
gripping
so
like onto like
it's so
be
funny.
grounded, but
It's
yet
so
they still
funny to
have
see.
they still have a mermaid that walks on land.
Yeah.
Like, no. Have fun.
They have
It's
some
so
serious
stupid.
tone balancing issues.
And
They can't. They're not doing it
again
well.
with like Superman, like being like no one can get Superman right. Watch Supergirl.
Yeah,
Superman's only in there for a little bit,
and that's what Superman is.
He is so Superman because he comes in and he's like super serious to Kara, and not to say like he's two-faced or anything, but he turns around to the camera and he's like, "Oh, hello." Like,
yeah,
that's just Superman.
Yeah.
Like he has to like put on the facade of like everything's good.
Yeah,
Everything's fine.
one of my and if I remember to do this, cut to a clip. But if I couldn't find it, what it was Red Letter Media describing the Batman v Superman thing, and it's like Superman like floating down to a Batman and being like, "Do you bleed?" And he's like, "You fucking will." Superman said to Batman, or like he's like, "When they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. I'm going to break every bone in your fucking body." That's what they say.
We don't need that.
Like just super gray, and super black. It's just don't do that. Just don't do that, because it's so stupid to see the Flash and then the Green Arrow and then all of those. I think the best decision they've made ever is separating those universes, like films, TV shows,
Which I wish Marvel would do, but cool.
and then animated. I think it's helping Marvel out a little bit, but it's starting to like decline for them.
Yeah.
It's starting to go downhill.
Yeah, because like all the TV shows have to like tie into the movies, but the movies don't necessarily have to tie into the TV shows, and that's kind of infuriating to me. But
Yeah.
I mean the best stuff that we have is the Netflix Marvel universe, which is still connected but loosely.
Yeah.
Like it's
Very
not
loosely.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they're dealing with the direct aftermath of like a film,
Yeah.
which is completely stupid in my opinion.
I think it's a good idea, but they can definitely handle it a little bit better.
I wish if they did do something like that, dealing with the direct aftermath of films.
Yeah.
They're actually making this TV show called Damage Control, which is about a not a construction crew, but like a a cleanup crew
Yeah.
that cleans
Someone's
up the
gotta clean up.
They clean up the messes of superheroes. Think of it kind of like that horrible DC show that came out as well, like really recently.
Which one was it?
With Vanessa Hudgens, and they're an insurance company that deals with superheroes. It was like it was a comedy. I forget what it's called.
I don't think I know that. That
But
sounds
it's
kind of neat.
It has a great premise. It just wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny at all. I don't know what it was. Probably because it was on like CBS, but
Yeah.
whatever. But it wasn't funny, and also weirdly, it had the brother of Bruce Wayne as the owner, which is
That's
also
such a
stupid
idea.
He has a brother in the comics.
What?
Well, kinda.
I hate comic books.
It's stupid.
DC, fix your damn films.
Yes.
That's
What?
That ends.
No. I got more to say. Just get someone to pilot.
Put someone in charge.
Yeah.
Just
Put someone in charge. Keep it consistent at least, and have fun.
Really, all they have to do, like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, you would think.
It's not that hard.
People probably don't want to They don't want to head it because they're like, oh, I don't want to be like pinpointed.
I also do think that, like, it's probably some Warner Brother heads being like, "This is what we want the films to be. The kids love A, B, and C for their movies.
The kids love blood, gore, and cursing.
Yeah, the kids love Batman.
They
beating
like-
the shit out of Superman.
They love Batman killing.
Batman's not human.
No, but they are human. He kills in Batman v Superman
Yeah.
all the time.
The thing that I was thinking about also was how they perfectly juggle, or no, not really juggle, but like they keep the tone for all of them, whether they're joking or not. In the DC the Warner Brother animated films, Batman didn't kill anybody in any of them, like at all, and they make it
Neither
to show
did
that.
Superman.
No, exactly. It's the last 4 that I have seen. I don't remember any of their names. I always forget their names. Justice League Dark, and then Batman and Harley Quinn. And then Under the Red Hood. Oh man, that was good. That's some good shit, my man. He's Batman, and he doesn't kill any of them. That's what Batman. That's like his big thing. But then, like, as soon as you see Batman on screen and Batman v Superman, he breaks that.
Yeah,
Like the first 20 minutes.
stupid.
And it's like, well, you didn't see it happen. It's like when someone crashes a car off of a cliff and the car explodes into a fireball. They might be okay. Get out of here with that. They're dead.
No, I mean, granted, this is a comic book movie, and they might.
That's the argument. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And then people that Batman brands, which I think is a neat idea, that brands, and if you go to prison, you're going to get killed.
Yeah,
That's killing people, whether you do it directly or indirectly.
yeah, I know. It's
so
stupid.
It's
Uh,
dumb.
I mean, it's
It's just plain ignorant, is what it is.
yeah.
That's really what it comes down
It
to.
honestly is. This universe is ran by people that don't get
Comic
the
books.
universe.
They don't get the universe. They don't get the comic books, and they don't get the fans either.
Yeah, they don't.
They understand what a market for a general audience is, and they make films to tailor to that general audience.
But the thing is, they
But
don't
the
even
thing
get
is,
the
they don't even
general.
they don't get them right either. People love the Marvel films because they are Marvel films. When
They
you
are
go,
comic book films.
when you
They
go
are
in to watch them.
unabashedly comic
Yes.
book films.
you watch Black Panther, you watch Infinity War, you watch Thor Ragnarok. We'll go later. You watch the first Iron Man. You know what you're getting into now. Then
Yeah.
you had no idea what you're getting into watching
had,
Iron Man.
You had no idea.
But you know what you're getting into.
Everyone thought Iron Man was going to be crap too.
No one wanted Iron Man to do well.
No one thought it would do well.
And then it turned out to be one of the greatest. Still is one of the
It's
best.
Still one of the best.
It still holds
Marvel
up.
Movies.
I would say the only way it's suffering now is because the world's atmosphere and tone is changing.
Yeah.
Slightly.
And
And
also,
then it is really funny to see him have like a flip phone.
and it's also funny to be like, there are no like hints to the larger Marvel universe as a whole, except for the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Like, I think there might be one or two, maybe like little like hints, but like
yeah.
nothing as abashed as Iron Man 2.
Yeah. Iron Man 2 is like, this thing's going on, that thing's going on, that thing's going on, there we go.
Boom. reference.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny to see the Captain America shield, and then see Agent Coulson like, I'm going to New Mexico. Thor's happening in New Mexico, and then seeing a background image of Hulk happening in the background. I think that's very funny to see all three of those happening at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Because those were like on the exact same like
the
couple of days.
The
I
first
think.
few Marvel films all take place within like a month.
Okay,
maybe?
so apparently, and this is turning to Marvel talk just for a few minutes. Apparently, 2008, I Am Iron Man is supposed to be like the end of spring, and then the Avengers happens at the end of the summer of the same year. So it takes place. So. That's what Kevin Feige said.
Oh, really?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I always thought
because Avengers and Homecoming, it says 8 years later, 8/8, 2016.
Oh, okay.
And the movie is in 2016.
They were doing a little bit of house cleaning there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
If they said 6 years later, then it would have been 2012, and that would have made more sense.
Sony, what are you doing?
I don't understand it. It doesn't. But they gave an official timeline. They gave this is how the events happened. It went boom, 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 and then Avengers, and then the rest of the stuff happened in order of the film's releases. And from 2008,
except for Guardians 2, but
yeah, which I think is super interesting how all the Guardians stuff takes place. Anyway,
Guardians 2 takes place almost like a month after.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. Which I think is funny. And then
so
apparently,
what have the Guardians been doing since
that's what I wanna know.
2014? We have missed 4
know.
years of their adventures.
Which is Guardians 3 supposed to take place after Infinity War, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
Well, maybe it's not. You know?
I think,
because Adam Warlock...
I think James Gunn was like, that takes place after.
Okay, that's kind of weird because Adam Warlock... He's been in a cocoon for at least a cocoon. He's been in that cocoon since 2014. It's 2018 now, and who knows? And who knows when Guardians Volume 3 will be released? Probably at least 2021, I would believe.
Probably.
Although they do have a script. They do have a script in there. Yeah.
Marvel's chugging right along. They're trained, dropping off films at the station. They're doing a great job.
Yeah. Honestly, people are like comic book fatigue, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't think it's comic book fatigue when people are still going
passionate
by the
about
busloads.
Yeah.
And plus, you can't just say
books.
comic book fatigue because comic book movies aren't even comic book movies anymore.
They've existed forever, also.
Yeah, comic book movies used to be like Steel or like Superman. Now it's not anymore because comic book movies can range from anything. They can be high fantasy.
Yeah.
They can be sci-fi.
Yeah.
They can be weird road trip with Thor and Hulk. Like,
yeah.
It ranges so differently now. And let's circle this back to DC. DC thinks comic book movie. They're thinking comic book movie.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, well, except for Wonder Woman. Yeah. They're not thinking like this Justice League movie could be like I don't know, it could be one of the best action movies ever. Like it could. Wonder Woman was fantasy. They could have made Batman v Superman like just
superbly comic book. Because the Batman v Superman comic book is beautiful. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Because it has this clashing of ideas, clashing of ideals, clashing of humanity, clashing of what it means to be a hero in this universe, what happens when heroes fail. Mm-hmm. It has all these beautiful themes, and you don't get any of it in Batman v Superman. Superman doesn't even decide who he is. Does he want to be a man for the people, or does he want to be Superman whenever he wants to be Superman? They don't even touch on that.
If you
the only consistent character is Batman, barely.
Yeah. And if you wanted like Superman to start like thinking about what he's doing, that shouldn't be in a Batman v Superman whenever you're talking about ideals.
It shouldn't be at the end of a 2.5 long hour film when you already have a 2.5 hour long film setting up a character. Superman has had no arc. Yeah. And I haven't seen Justice League, and I don't think that fixes it either. Yeah. They didn't fix his upper lip. We'll touch back to
I'll-
the beginning of the podcast,
I'll-
of the beginning of the show. It
Yeah.
makes us sad talking about it.
Yeah, honestly, like all these movies, Suicide Squad could have been
It
a
could have been
heist
really good.
film.
It could have been great.
It did not have to have like a beam up in the sky, defend the world kind of movie.
Ugh.
That's reserved for like the Justice League or something.
Yeah.
But they could have had like a low stakes, like catch this one guy kind
The
of.
film could have
kinda
been
movie.
a dozen different things, and it should not have been what it was.
Yes,
They did not need to make it the way they did.
They're
They made the
super
trailer,
villains.
and then they tailored the film, edited to be around the response to the trailer.
Yeah, the super villains should be forced to do one good thing, and then like that's
and then
the movie.
it. That's the
And
way.
even then, maybe they shouldn't have been forced to do a good thing. Maybe they should have been forced to do a bad thing for the government.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
An assassination.
That's in the comic books.
Yes.
They're taking notes from the comic books and ignoring what is in them and ignoring what they are.
They look at the broad strokes of the comic without looking at the details.
This page of comic book is dark and gritty with Batman and Superman. The whole comic book is like this.
No.
That's what Batman and Harley Quinn does very well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I'm not gonna really spoil it because I definitely recommend watching it. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like they need to get one question out of Harley? All they need is to know where Poison Ivy is,
Mm-hmm.
and they ask her.
Not her new pudding. I ship it. I love that relationship.
I did.
Fight me.
I did too. So they ask, and she's like, "All right, here's where she is." After much hassle from Harley Quinn.
Didn't she also sleep with Nightwing in the movie?
Hey, we're gonna go on ahead and skip past that part. She did, yeah. It was pretty funny.
So she's
was-
bisexual. I'm into it.
It was really funny. The way they handled it was like, ooh, now that's hot. And then like whenever Batman shows up, he's like, what's going on? And then like, I was getting information. Anyway, it was very
Hi
funny.
there, tall, dark, and handsome. I haven't watched the movie, so I don't know. I can see her saying
That's
that
pretty
though.
much it. That's honestly that's almost exactly it. But like,
I
and
get
then
the character more than
through much reluctance, Harley Quinn is like, "Yeah, I'll help. Sure, I'll help. If you leave me alone, I'll help." Basically, is what it is until like the midpoint of the film. The midpoint of the film is like, it's like driving along a straight road. Oh, here's the exit. That's pretty much what it is. But you can do things like that. That's what a villain, a prior villain should be, and then what? I just
see.
Should we be in charge of the DC universe?
I don't think so.
I think we should. Let's make our own comic book film.
Dude, I'm in.
We need money.
we need a lot of money.
Could you please give us? How much did Batman Superman cost to make? Like $250 million.
No.
And like it
I
almost.
have
it
no
really broke
idea.
even. Whatever. Anyway.
I just hope that they don't. Moving forward, they don't think comic book film specifically. They think of like other genres, like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman could be an espionage film. In the 1980s during the
Yeah.
height of the Cold War, an espionage film.
Yeah.
Shazam.
The first Wonder Woman was a war
Shazam could
movie.
be like a magical comedy,
Yeah.
like a fantasy comedy kind of thing. He deals with like all these like gods that give him their powers,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. And it's so cool. It's so weird, and it can work in certain contexts.
Mm-hmm.
So, do stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
don't think specifically comic book movie.
I will make a comic book movie with these comic book characters.
No, stop.
27% of Rotten Tomatoes. I will make a war film with the comic book character.
Dude, wait, hold on.
94.
I have a
Tomatoes.
better idea for the DCEU.
Yeah.
Don't make adaptations of what we know. Make adaptations of different stuff.
They
Like,
kind of did that with Marvel films early on.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like make adaptations that are so different, kind of like what they do with their animated films, like Gotham by Gaslight or Batman, Batman Ninja.
Yeah.
do Elseworlds. Give me the movie of Batman. Is it Batman Man of Steel or something? I don't know. But it's where Clark, or not Clark, but Kal-El crash lands in Gotham and is adopted by the Waynes.
Now that would be neat.
What happens, this isn't really a spoiler because it's kind of setting up his character, his character arc. So, as we all know, the Waynes are murdered.
Yeah.
So, picture, instead of Bruce, he's still called Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but
it's Kal-El.
That's neat.
Yeah. Picture Bruce Wayne with Superman's powers, right
Gotham
before
would be solved.
right before his adolescence. Right before his adolescence, and he's about to go through the changes.
Yeah.
And so he's developing his powers, and all of a sudden, a traumatizing event can kickstart a lot of things.
Yeah.
So in the comic book, whenever Martha and Thomas Wayne, they're murdered.
Your mother's name is Martha also? Cool.
They're one and the same now. But they're murdered, and he loses control of his powers, and he kills Joe Chill. He kills Joe Chill with his laser eyes, with it. And it's a really interesting story because he finds himself like normal Batman. He goes off to like train and stuff, but at the same time, he has Superman's powers.
Dude.
So it's really interesting. I would love stuff like that. Like, give us Elseworlds. Give us Flashpoint.
Give us
stuff
Flashpoint. I do really want Flashpoint.
I was thinking, like, give us like stuff that.
Give us new stuff.
The normal people, the normies, just the average moviegoer won't expect.
I do think, let me say this real fast. I do, because we're at 40 minutes. 40 minutes,
Wow.
15,
Sorry.
30, so we're at more than an hour. Trevor, we always do this.
I know.
They were right. Anyway, it has been proven that people love different, new, and sometimes weird things. Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War.
The Lego movie.
The Lego movies. People love things like that. And the studios don't want to try it, except for Marvel Studios. The studios don't want to try it because it might not appeal to the audience. It might be too weird. Oh, normal people don't know what comic books are.
That's what I love
I don't want to say the fandom's changing, but I do want to say the times are changing. People are people know what they like. People know what they're into.
They're open to like, weird things.
Yeah, people are open and desiring new things like that. And if you want to keep comic books around, and you want to keep the superheroes around and all that, and you want to keep them in a wide audience, I don't feel like they're going to go anywhere anytime soon. We'll talk about Disney and all that later. We'll talk about all that later.
What I was going to say is that's why I like Disney and Marvel and Star Wars. They have like the brand and the money to do stuff
to try
new things like Coco.
Warner Brothers does too.
But
they're just
Warner Brothers
too.
Warner Brothers has the money. They have the brand.
They don't do that. They just don't do that.
I don't know why though.
Because they do it with things that are less popular. Warner Brothers animated. I don't think Batman and Harley Quinn can be made into a live-action, full-length film.
Doesn't necessarily have to be live action.
Because it'd be too weird. People wouldn't know what that is. People don't know.
Harley
Quinn being a good guy. Harley Quinn's a villain. What are you talking about?
See,
people just don't want to try it. They don't want to try it.
I meant to bring this up, and I can kind of see where you're coming from because this movie did fail, but there has been one animated DC movie that it will knock your socks off by how good it is.
Well, what is it? Let me write it
Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay, I want to watch that.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But it takes place in the Batman... Oh, I accidentally... No.
No, dude.
No, dude. It takes place in the Batman animated series universe. And I don't want to ruin it. It dives more into Batman's psyche and who he is as a character than any of the Nolan films.
That was one of my favorite parts of Arkham Knight. It's like
It-
Batman's the most. I think in the comics also it was like Batman's most trying 24 hours. Less than that probably. 'Cause it was
See-
also, oh no,
What?
the camera died.
Oh no!
Hey, we've been talking too long.
Whoops!
The camera's dead.
Whoops!
All right,
Okay.
well, let's go ahead and close this up.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's cool.
Sorry. But for real, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is a great movie if you want to know how to make a good comic book movie and also a great mystery movie.
Yeah.
Hint there, it's not necessarily a comic book movie,
Yeah.
but it's a great detective thriller as well. But it was so good. It didn't do too well at the box office, but
there seems to be a running thing with the animated films.
yeah.
It's but they have gotten a lot better
But
about spending less.
The thing is, they didn't market it very well.
Yeah, I
it's-
didn't know that any of the Batman films. I didn't know Justice League Dark existed. I didn't know Harley Quinn and Batman
Well,
existed.
the thing is, Mask of the Phantasm, it came out in the 90s,
yeah.
and it was a theatrical release,
Okay.
animated movie
Okay.
that people don't realize was a theatrical movie.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best, Batman. It's the best Batman movie I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and I watch a lot of Batman.
Believe me, I know Batman. But,
It's
yeah.
the best. It's the best representation of Batman on the big screen, on the big screen. It's so good. Also, the only thing I can say is get Bruce Timm,
Yes.
to head DC movies. That's the last thing I'm saying.
Yeah. That's all we need. Well, before you leave, Trevor. Well, before you go.
What?
Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back to the station and griping with me about films for a little bit.
I'm sorry that I took so.
No, we both do this. That's the reason why I asked you here, because I want it to be a long form thing.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming back, Trevor. It's that time of the year again. I'm kidding. Thanks for watching.